What's up, everybody? We are live. We are live. What's going on, man? So this thing's kind of bugging me. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Get some light in here. Whew. What's up, guys? It is, I don't know what time it is. Like 9. Is it 9:30? I don't know. My watch died, so I got it this morning. Oops, sorry about that. I went to put it on this morning. I looked at it. I'm like, what the heck? But 9:37 Pacific Standard Time. Sorry, my throat's a little itchy today. It's like itchy every time I get on for a live stream. My throat starts itching me. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna drink some coffee, guys. See if anyone jumps on. Then we can kind of chat. Sorry, I just coughed right into that microphone. So we can chat a little bit, and then I got to get out of here and go hustle for a couple hours today. But I got some good news. Some good news about Grubhub as well, which was really interesting. I wasn't really sure what to think about this email I got, but we were just talking about it a couple of days ago, Marn and I, and so I'll share that with you. So let me drink some coffee. We'll kind of chat, talk a little bit about the new video that I released and some of the response that kind of surprised me, and then we'll kind of take from there. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Make sure to hit that like, make sure to hit that subscribe. Thank you so much, guys, too. A lot of new subscribers over the last couple of days, probably because of the Cobra Kai video. What's up, Mr. Pat55? A lot of new subscribers recently, and no, I haven't heard anything about Cobra Kai Season 3 as far as the release date. A lot of it's kind of hush-hush right now. And let me drink some of this coffee, and then I'll talk a little bit about the video that was released and kind of what inspired me to do that video, because I'll be honest with you guys, like, it's been, almost 11 months of us waiting. If you guys haven't checked the catalog that I think I have 50 plus videos, man, of Cobra Kai. And so I kind of got to a point too where I was like, you know what? I got to just kind of focus on some other things, because we're all like super antsy about it and they're not giving us anything, which is good. That means there's a lot of hype behind it, a lot of people that are excited about it, that is gradually turning into frustration. I know I've been frustrated. I watch a lot of other channels, even the ones that I mentioned in that last video, Bonsai Kai and Watch Party, and there's a couple other ones that I watch too. And there comes a point where you're like, you can only make so much content before you just start making stuff up, and that's kind of, if you guys have watched anything of mine, like I try to keep it very objective, and I don't like speculating or just kind of making stuff up. There has to be purpose behind the videos for me to release them. That way I feel good about what I'm doing versus just putting out a video trying to get views. And so I made a promise to myself after season 1 that I wouldn't do that. And so there has to be some meat, or there has to be some content, or there has to be some logic behind what's going on if I'm going to release another video. So I took a little bit of a hiatus, and I got into the film industry. So I'm actually in an apprenticeship right now with a company called Dream Team Directors in LA, a small production company. And we've been doing stuff like films, short films. We did a Fitzer commercial for Home Depot that I just saw, that I was on set for. I just saw the final version of what it looks like. It'll probably be released in the next probably month or so. I don't know, but I've been like involved with the industry. So I kind of like pulled back a little bit from the amount of content that I was doing on this channel. As I kind of explored creativity, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of what I've been doing, is exploring and doing some filmmaking, documentaries, and all that stuff. But let me tell you, what's up, Jeremy? What's going on? Let me take a sip of this coffee real quick, and then I'll start reading some of your comments, guys. And this is hot, man. Jesus, I made this like an hour ago. It's still burning hot in this thermos. So let me see real quick. I'll get to your comments. Mr. Pat said they're keeping us in the dark for way too long. Yeah, I know a lot of people feel like that. So I've seen a lot of people getting upset because nothing has been said about season 3. This was before all of what's going on now. Yeah, and you know what? Like, this is just some insight stuff, guys. Like, I didn't get any of this stuff a year ago. Like, trust me. Like, I didn't understand. I'm a total fan, guys. I've always been a fan. I don't claim to be an analyst or anything. I'm just a fan that just loves this thing. So a year ago, I didn't know anything about this industry other than what you see, like the end product. And that's going to watch, a movie or series that come out on Netflix, and you just kind of super nerd out to it and you like love it. But as far as the process and what it takes to release those things and the marketing, I didn't understand that stuff until about 4 months ago. And that's because of all of the other projects that I've been involved with that are they're professional projects with professional producers, directors, being on set. Like it was just like a mind-blowing experience. If you guys haven't been watching lives, go back like a couple, maybe like a month ago, and you'll start to see stuff that I'm posting about being on set. Those things changed my eyes and changed my perspective on what it takes to actually one finish a project, because even though we think it might be done because they're saying that the shooting has wrapped, that doesn't mean anything, man. There's always reshoots, and I've witnessed this firsthand the last couple of months on projects that I've been on set for, where they have to go back and reshoot it. And I'll give you an example. So everything was shot for this commercial for Home Depot, right? Everything was good. It went up to the marketing team. What's going on, Dylan? Went up to the marketing team, and they're like, you know what? There's an issue with these faucets. We don't like the way that they're turned. That they're turned at a certain angle. So this thing had already been shot. It goes up, and they had to actually reshoot the faucets alone, green screen some special effects in, and all this other stuff, and delayed it by 2 months for one project. One 30-second commercial delayed it for 2 months, right? And you're like, well, what does that mean? It just means that production can get tied up. You have ADR, which people come in and kind of overdub the things. And a lot of people thought that just because we see Ralph Macchio and a couple, dude, there's an entire cast that has to be done. You know, and it could be even people that are just background noise. We don't know the scope of it, but these directors and creators and all that, they're perfectionists, man. So if the sound quality isn't perfect, they're gonna redo it. And that's the stuff that I've come witness to, is like, whoa, I didn't realize that, you know, good is not good enough. It has to be superior. And if there's any issue with the audio quality or anything like that, that is what ADR is for. And so what I've also learned from personal experience is that they can release a trailer without it being completely edited. They can produce a trailer if they wanted to release it, even if they didn't finish all of it. Because if you think about it, 30 seconds, 2 minutes out of how many hours of content, you're talking about small little snippets and clips and all that to make a compelling trailer. It doesn't have to be entirely done. If it's done, it's easier, but it doesn't have to happen that way. So it doesn't have to be this linear way that all the episodes have to be edited before they release something. It doesn't work that way, guys. In Hollywood, it does not work that way. If you go into my channel and you you look down the very bottom, I have a documentary. There's like a little teaser in there, right? Dude, only 15% of that documentary has been shot. Maybe 25% has been shot, but I was able to put together a compelling little teaser to gain interest of what's going on without the entire project being done. Go check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. Put some music, make it compelling, and it hasn't been completed. This whole I can't say the word virus even stopped my projects that I'm working on because I can't go film in parks and things that I'm supposed to be doing. So it slowed a lot of stuff down. So if you watch this video, what inspired me, man, honestly, is I woke up one day. We're kind of like in lockdown here in California, and I still go out and drive. I'm going out to go drive today in Grubhub, and I got to give a shout out to Grubhub for some things that they're doing right now behind the scenes that nobody knows about unless you're a driver. So I might even do a video about it, but I'll kind of give you a little bit of what's going on. So, but I woke up that morning, man, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like editing a project that I filmed in New Mexico, and I just started thinking, I'm like, man, dude, there's got to be a reason, a much bigger reason than what we think is happening with Cobra Kai. And I started asking myself some questions, like, because I'm the type of person that wants to investigate. I don't just shoot from the hip. I want to investigate and know what I'm talking about. And so I started kind of just like connecting dots, like what could have possibly happened in the real world of marketing, in the real world of the release dates and all this other stuff, right? And that's where I woke up one morning the other day and I'm like, you know what? I think I know what's happening. And so I just kind of did the video on that. So, but let me tell you the stuff that makes me like crack up, guys, because this process is huge. In order to release this, YouTube has to make money. They have to make money. That's what this whole thing is. They invested probably 2 to 3 times more to the budget for season 3 than they did for season 1, right? And so that money's being put up front. There has to be a return. And if YouTube can't make money on it, or do massive marketing promotion to get the actors out engaging with people, like, it's cool to see people, on TV now. You see them from their homes and all that, but that takes away from the engagement. And engagement is huge, especially, why do you think that they're kind of steering away from premium to allowing 1 week releases to the public? That's to help generate some new interest without having to make the commitment of buying premium. Now, because they're doing this, that means their profitability, they're taking a gamble. They're taking a risk on doing that, right? They're taking a risk that, what if nobody signs up? Let's just kind of put this theory out there, right? What if nobody signs up for YouTube Premium and they just want to watch it for free? Now all of the revenue is based on ad driven revenue. Companies are not making money, guys. Like, I'm sitting here in a parking lot. I can probably switch over and there's a bunch of empty places. I just passed by Michael's, like a Michael's, the craft store. It's completely boarded up. Like, these are major companies. And then you look at the film industry itself has completely shut down. Man, I was looking for a job right before all this happened, and I was getting hits and responses for different editor jobs and production assistant jobs. And virtually overnight, when they said this shutdown, they all disappeared. Now it's like, I was getting 25 to 30. Now it's like one every 2 days. So you can imagine how many people are competing for this one job. So it's just crazy how things in the real world are starting to affect our lives. And as a fan, like, we don't want to hear that. If the product's done, we want it. Doesn't work that way, guys. This is a business. This is a show business. Business is bigger, right? The word is bigger because that's what's dominant. Every decision made for this show has been done deliberately. And even the silence, guys, it's better to have silence versus someone backtracking. Like, what if John says, okay, we're releasing in April, and YouTube says, no, we're not? Then he has to backtrack what he said, right? Now, he said that they'll release it in spring, but they didn't say when. So what if it goes to, instead of June, it goes to July? That's the summer. That's kind of where I thought maybe 4 months that would help. I wasn't even thinking about Cobra Kai when I said summer. I was thinking about life as we know it resuming, some normalcy resuming in that span of time of this summer, that we'll able to at least start to enjoy things that are happening in our life, production, movie theaters. You're looking at 4 to 5 months, man, of something like that to happen. So those predictions that I made in that video I just released was geared more on real world versus even just Cobra Kai. I think Cobra Kai has just been affected by what's happening. So it's been a pretty crazy journey just watching what's happening, but being in the middle of it myself and experiencing it myself, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how things have come to a standstill. So hold on, let me go back. And I have one more point about that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me see. Dylan says, I'm all right, except that some brat is being rude, blaming. Yeah, dude, there's a whole bunch of issues with not Cobra Kai, with YouTube, man. I can tell you, I got some hate mail too on that video, which I was expecting. But it is what it is. What's up, Leo? I didn't see that you came in, man. YouTube is practically taunting its users. Wow. Jeremy says, movie industries are pushing release dates back because of no marketing. Some are pushing movies to digital media, which that's true too. And because they already had a good bit of marketing. But let me tell you this, Jeremy, where are they going with that streaming? They're either going directly to cable, they're going to directly to Netflix, or they're going directly to Amazon Prime. All of them are subscriptions. They've already established a subscription based that you're paying. Even if it's cable, you're paying for that. The issue with YouTube is that doesn't exist. So that's where everyone's like, well, Netflix and dude, their business models are absolutely 1,000% different. Like YouTube is an ad driven marketing company, that they're a giant, but they don't have the subscription base that a lot of these other places. So you're right. If a movie wants to decide, hey, we need to make some of this return back in this quarter, let's release it to Netflix, cable, on demand. Those are already subscription based things. You wouldn't see them say, let's put it on channel 5 that's free and hope to make some money back. It doesn't work that way, guys. It does not work that way. And that's where I think a lot of people get frustrated. And I was actually expecting a lot more people to be frustrated with this last video I did, because it wasn't what they wanted to hear. We want to hear it's going to get released. It's going to get released. No one asked the question, why isn't it getting released? And that's what happened to me the other day, as I sat there for an hour and just like, let me come up with like 10 reasons why, and it might not be getting released. And then I researched it and I came across all of these things. Like you said, man, people are pushing back dates. They're pushing back movies. They're pushing back, album releases. They're pushing all this stuff back. Why? If the product's done, why are they pushing it back? Right? That's what I asked myself. Why would they be pushing it back? This is why they're pushing it back. Like, if there's no money, if there's no revenue that's driven back, you guys, you got to remember that, like, and this is real world, I'll tell you. So I was working with, the director, my mentor, and they're looking to like finance stuff and all that. So you get investors, right? And the investors, what's up, Scott? What's going on? The investors put money up front for projects, up front, and they expect a return, man. So it's like, you got to remember that people invested. It's not just YouTube. If you think it's just YouTube that invested all this money for Cobra Kai, you're wrong, dude. Because that's a huge amount of revenue that they would have to put aside for that. There's other investors, guys. This is the part of business that you guys haven't seen or haven't been involved with. I've been on conference calls with stuff like this, and it's just like stuff that I didn't know about the industry and how it operates and how the pieces connect together. It's just crazy. So it's like, it's all marketing, guys. If you can't get it in front of enough people, and they all have projections. If we get it in front of X amount of people, it'll generate X amount of revenue. Even how much they expect YouTube Premium to go up from people subscribing after the release date. And if those numbers don't align to something that looks attractive, then they're going to stop. And we all know these other pieces, components like the actors meeting with the public and all these things and all that stuff, right? And Scott says they can't advertise it on TV. Exactly. So they're kind of pigeonholed into their own platform. And this is what I kind of mentioned. I didn't go into too much detail because I didn't want to go off the rail on that. But they have been pigeonholed into their own platform right now, which in a normal circumstance gives them the ultimate power, gives them ultimate control. Well, guess what? What happens when something comes in and kicks your legs out? There's nowhere else to go. Like, they can't go to a streaming service like Amazon Prime or Netflix and say, hey, can you guys let this? They can be like, hell yeah, we'll do that. It's going to cost you $40 million to do that. It's going to cost you maybe $20 million, some crazy number for them to want to use that show. And with revenue going down already from YouTube, where are they going to come up with more money? It's putting yourself at risk that way. So those are just like business decision and basically economics. And that's what I was trying to kind of explain. And a lot of people get kind of agitated. The overall response to this video has been actually really good, which I appreciate that. A lot of new subscribers. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And, but people don't want to hear bad news. And I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I also thought no one's talking about it, right? No one's talking about what could be happening. And so I think this is the most logical, and I hope I'm wrong, guys. I'm hoping that, hey, next week, boom, trailer, cool, that's awesome. But I just don't think that it's gonna happen. And I do think that even if they drop a trailer, let's say if I had to give projection, if they said spring or whatever, let's just say late spring, that means they would probably wait till at least May to drop the trailer that can hold us on for another month, because they usually release a teaser, trailer, and then like a modification of the trailer. So at least 2 to 3 modifications of that trailer to keep us busy. Like, every 2 weeks they'll drop another one, right? But it's basically the same exact thing, just with a couple extra scenes. That's what they can do to buy us a month or even 2 months, which would push us into summer, which is July. So there's a bunch of things that could possibly be happening, but I just think that financially it doesn't make sense for them to do it sooner than later. I think later gives them a lot more time to strategize and make adjustments to what's happening in the world, and to recrunch numbers based on what's going on and figure out a better strategy. So I think their strategy just got disrupted. Let me see. It's like the C virus has a mind of its own. A lot are going to Voodoo and charging like $20 per rental. Yeah, I saw that too, man. Cobra Kai season 3 has no release date, which I know Scott said. Fast 9 got pushed back a year because they can't market it. Black Widow probably going to Disney Plus, which that makes sense to go to Disney Plus. That does. That actually makes a lot of sense for that specific movie. It makes sense. I agree. Let me see. I doubt we'll get a trailer till much later on. I agree. I think it's going to be a later release. But this is where I was just saying they can put something together without it being 100%, guys. Like they could do it if they wanted to. The question is, why are they not? So that is where there's something going on. There's some forces beyond what I know, what you know, what anyone else knows that is going on within that circle, that there is some force that is challenging it. And more than likely, it's the marketing agency that drives promotion and all that, because they're coming back with some data that's like, this is a bad idea. Like, don't release it right now. Let's weather the storm. Let's even weather it to maybe the virus slows down, the bow starts going down, the curve starts going down. And maybe when there's some normalcy, then that's more strategic than taking a risk doing it now. And maybe YouTube has accepted something that they didn't want to, is that because Netflix, Prime, Hulu, these guys have been in the game for subscription-based content for a long time, that they're just deciding right now with so many people at home and so much content, maybe it's time to just take a step back. Like maybe it is, right? Maybe it's just not a good time because I think it's watered down with so much content. Netflix is like increasing the content. If you guys haven't seen this, they're increasing it, and you're asking, how can they do that? Their subscription base is going through the roof, guys. It's going through the roof, which means their revenue they could spend. So that's real world. Their stuff is going through the roof, man. Their subscription is up, and it doesn't surprise me. So they have the power and the money to do what they need to do to keep us engaged with Netflix. And unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have that effect for premium. And their overall content, and I hate to say this, and watch this video get blocked from it, the amount of content that they have is not the greatest. I mean, I've gone through it, and I'm just like, yeah, it's okay, but I'd rather go to Netflix and watch stuff because I have a ton of stuff. Or go to Amazon Prime because I have a ton of stuff. So they're just kind of in this weird position, and I think that's affecting a lot of what they're doing right now. So summer, this is what Scott says, summer is perfect timing. I get to sit on the couch, no school, get to watch it. I know, man. Until this calms down, unfortunately, this is what Jeremy says, and people go back to work, we won't see much of anything. And that's true. I never thought I'd see the day, guys, with sports. I'm going to tell you this. This is like, I'm telling you, all these things have been happening to me where I'm like, okay, something's got to be going on. I never thought I would see the day that I'd be excited to watch like a Mike Tyson fight from like 25, 30 years ago, man. I put it on and I was all excited watching it because there's no real sports going on. Everything is old stuff that's playing, or just speculation on, the Patriots, and now that, the changes and all that, but there's nothing new to report on. And so I never thought I'd see the day where I get excited to see some old familiar stuff. And it kind of shows you what's going on because these industries have virtually shut down, and it's just crazy, man. But I just want to thank you guys for watching that. I will say Patriots trash. Yeah, I know. But I appreciate all the support, and I was honestly a little surprised with the amount of overwhelming support that came with the video that I just released. And I'll be honest, because I've been doing this for a couple of years now, especially with Cobra Kai. people love their show, man. They love it. They embrace it. It's a part of it. Almost becomes a part of your identity, right? Just the same thing for me. Like this Cobra Kai thing has become a part of my YouTube identity, and I understand why we hold it so close to the vest because we love it, and and so people voice their opinions very freely, you guys, on these on my channel especially, but I realized that a lot of people started to understand at least where I was coming from. This wasn't like, hey, let me make some bullshit prediction, like just make some up or look at some photo and speculate. This is real world stuff that's happening to us, man, and to deny that it's impacting this show, I think is just like hoping that something great will happen, and it's not going to right now. It's just ignoring the elephant in the room. Even though it's affected every aspect of your life, we're ignoring that it's affecting this. And so I don't want to say that that's like naive, because it's not. It's just we're holding it close to the vest. And even I was conflicted wanting to release this video, because I'm like, man, if this is true, this sucks. And I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. And so I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate all the support. I got a little bit of friction, a little bit of people, but it's always the same nonsense. Always people that don't make content and they just like to talk trash, right? The trolls are out there. So it's no matter what you do on YouTube, they're always going to be out there, like you said, Dylan. So, but when you put out content that's in the spotlight, like Cobra Kai, people have strong opinions. All I was saying is, like, just take your fan hat off. And if it wasn't Cobra Kai, if it wasn't something that we loved, what would be causing this to happen? And when you take that fan hat off and you really look at, between the lines, I think there's a lot of truth. I think there's a lot of reality that's affecting this world that we want to be in Cobra Kai. And so, but the last point I'll make before I got to get going, because I got to go drive, man. There's 2 more points I got. One Cobra Kai, one about Grubhub. The last point that I see a lot of people saying is that, well, John said this, John said that, well, John said spring. Let me tell you something, man. John doesn't make financial decisions for YouTube. He's just the creator. And like I said this to somebody the other day, it's like, for those of you that love Netflix and love like Stranger Things, it would be like thinking that the creator from Stranger Things makes business decisions for Netflix. Like, how ridiculous is that? So I don't want to say it's just a show, because it's not, but they do not have the pool to make a business decision for YouTube. And that's just reality, man. And so I commented back to someone, I'm like, guys, John could say it's coming out next week, and YouTube would go like, no, it's not. That's not happening, because they are the driving force behind it, not the content creator. And that is how this structure works, guys, with films. Can you imagine a DC film coming out and they're like thinking that they can call the shots to Sony or, whoever, like the director or someone calling the shots saying, hey, you have to, they don't have to do nothing, man. They are the financial backers. They are the one that have invested money. They call the shots, not the content creator, dude. The creative process, 100%. I don't even say 100%, maybe 95%. That is the creators, the writers, the actors. But when it all comes down to it, the driving force, which is YouTube, makes the final decision. And that is a reality for any business, any model. Who makes the decision is the people running the business, not the creators, not the directors, and not the actors. They have influence, but they don't make the decision, because ultimately, can you imagine if YouTube crushes and crashes and burns, and you're like, oh, well, that was because of a decision made from the Cobra Kai creator? Like, that's just nonsense. That's just silly if you think about it that way. Like, it doesn't work that way. They're a giant. They make decisions, and they make final decisions for things that are going on that platform, and that's just the reality of it. So, but I want to end with this. Thank you guys for jumping in. Those of you that are watching, and those that you watch on the replay, I appreciate it. But I did want to give a shout out to Grubhub, and I think I'm debating whether to do a video of this, and I probably will. So for those of you that are new to my channel, I drive Grubhub, man. I worked at this. I've done retail. I was an operations manager in dentistry, and I hated it. So about 5 months ago, I just left, and I got into film student, all this other stuff. But in the meantime, I've been doing Grubhub, DoorDash, all that stuff to make ends meet. And so one of my biggest fears was the last month has been scary, man. I have my gloves in the car, I have my mask, I have all this other stuff. But it dawns on me, I'm like, how come we are out on the front lines helping people, right? Helping them with food, and the company offers no protection to us. Like you either have to get it yourself or whatever. So I got this email yesterday that said they are going to offer, mask and gloves or a kit to all of their Grubhub drivers. And so I don't know if any other driving delivery service is doing this, but I got to give them some mad ass props, because I'm going to tell you, doing this is scary, dude. Being out here is scary. Doing it every single day is unnerving. And it's like going into, you guys go out to maybe shop or whatever. I'm out spending 7 to 8 hours out here in the public, and it's scary sometimes. And so, I even had to take a break the last couple of days just to get my mindset right, because it's scary knowing that you're walking into the fire and doing it for a long period of time, weeks upon weeks, if not months. It can wear you down, and it was wearing me down. That's why I took a couple of days off, just to kind of rejuvenate. So I want to give them some mad love, man. So I appreciate that. I appreciate what they're doing, because they didn't have to do that, but they did it for us. And so I really appreciate it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. It's been a little over a half an hour. I appreciate all the support. Make sure to share, like, send it out, social media. I appreciate it. And we'll see. We'll see if there's more Cobra Kai videos that come out. If you guys, if something comes up, I'll make sure to send it out. But until then, stay tuned to the channel. Make sure to subscribe. And we'll talk to you soon, all right? We're out of here. I'm out.